Yo, what's up, man? I'm about to give my predictions on the finals and talk a little bit more about LeBron's legacy, basically. So, objectively, I'm gonna pick Golden State to win in 6 games. I just think they're gonna repeat. That's what I think. I think Curry and Clay and Draymond will find a way to lead their team and win in 6 games. And I think that either Clay or Curry will end up being the Finals MVP this time instead of Iggy. But I would bet that it would be Steph this time, just because he's a much better player than he even was last year, and he had won the MVP last year. So, um, and like I said objectively, I had a discussion with my dad yesterday, and he was like, "What do you mean objectively?" And I'm like, I don't want to see LeBron lose. Because I don't have nothing against LeBron. So I don't want to see him lose again. But I just think it's going to happen. Like, he's going to go 2-5. And it sucks, but that's what it is. Like, I just think the Warriors are going to find them. I don't even know if the Warriors are a better team than the Cavs at this point, to be honest with you. Because the Thunder pretty much outplayed the Warriors. It's just the Warriors, they just had will. They had changed a little bit of their game plan, their strategy, but they just willed themselves to win those games, to go from 3-1 to 4-3. They willed themselves. So I think that's what's going to happen again. I think it's going to be quite similar. I think Warriors will win the first game. The Cavs will win the second. I think the Cavs will win the third. And then it'll probably pretty much be the same thing. Like, they'll probably end up winning the same way. But I will say this. Because the Cavs are healthy, there is a chance that if the Cavs do end up being tied 1-1, they can go 3-1 by the end of game 4. Just because they are healthy. But I will say this. If the Cavs do go up 3-1 like the Thunder did, they will seal the deal. And I think they'll seal the deal in 5 games. As crazy as that sounds, I'm only saying if they went 3-1. I don't even think that's going to even happen. But I'm just saying that if they did go 3-1, I think they would either close it in 5 or 6. But I honestly would go out on a limb and say 5. Just because we've never seen LeBron give that type of lead up. Like, we've never seen him go 3-1 and then give up a lead like that. So that's the only reason why I'm saying that. But I don't even think the Warriors are going to let that happen again. But they did. I do think they would get taken out. Yeah, I think it would be 5 games, to be honest. But like I said, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Warriors are going to find a way to win. And at the end of the day, it's just hard to beat them 4 times in the series. You have to beat them 4 times. It's just really hard to do. So I think I think the Cavs are going to lose, and LeBron's going to end up being 2-5, and he's going to get criticized even more by Skip Bayless and others. But I think if the Warriors do win, it'll be great, not only for the league, but it'll be great for our generation, because all the older people can shut the hell up about, like the Warriors easily went 73-10. I mean 73-9, even though that wasn't really the case. Like, winning 73 games is not easy. And I think, some of the guys who, played in decades prior to this think because the NBA is a tad bit watered down that the Warriors didn't earn these 73 wins. Like, they did what they're supposed to do. A great team is supposed to dominate, and they did. They took advantage of how bad the Eastern Conference was, and they took advantage of the Western Conference, which I do think took a little dip this year because of the expectations of the Pelicans were supposed to make it in the playoffs, and I mean, the Houston Rockets barely even made it. So, but they did what they were supposed to do. They're in the finals now. They did go against the Thunder, and they found a way to win in 7 games. So to talk about, well, what if the Thunder had played them last year? Doesn't even matter, because they found a way to beat them in 7 games. I want to talk a little bit more about LeBron's legacy if he does lose. If he goes 2-5, yes, it will be bad. Does that mean that he's a bad player, or an overrated player if they go 2-5? In my opinion, no, because I never rated him as like the next Jordan or whatever. I think LeBron is who he is. Like, he's LeBron. But in the bigger scheme of things, in the bigger picture, ESPN has this man number 3 on the all-time list, greatest all-time list. So for you to have a guy like that rated number 3, that says a lot. And I just don't agree with that. For him to be number 3 of all time, basically he would have to win 2 more titles. So he would need to go 4-4 instead of 2-5. Like, he needs to go 4-4. If he goes 4-4, not only would I be content with that, but I think that people would have to back off. Like, you just can't criticize him if he does go 4-4, because that technically means, and I'm saying if LeBron does stay with Cleveland, that means that he would have won 2 titles with Cleveland. And win 1 title for Cleveland, technically, you could argue that's winning 2, just because it's Cleveland of all places. So if he was able to win 2, obviously being the best player and the leader on that team, it really would be a lot. And yes, you could really make that argument that he is top 3. Right now, I do have him in the top 10, but I have him somewhere in between the 8 to 10 spot. And like I said, when you get rated as high as LeBron did coming out of high school, there's just a lot of hype that comes with it. If you don't win that many championships, then yes, it will be a problem. Now, if this was the 70s and LeBron went 2-5, I don't think it would mean anything, to be honest with you, because basketball just wasn't looked the same way as it is now. Like, we don't have those same arguments. Like, Jerry West lost a bunch of times, and like, he doesn't really get criticized. But I do think if Jerry West was in this era, and let's say, he just won 1 title but lost a bunch of times in the finals, I do think he would be heavily criticized because of the fact that he is playing for the Lakers and was able to get multiple championships. So I don't think this is just a LeBron thing. Like I said, me personally, I don't have anything against LeBron, so I would like to see him go 4-4, at least 3-4. That way, it doesn't look that terrible. Because like the first time he lost to the Spurs, there's no way they was going to win that series, so you can't complain about that. But losing the Mavs is what really hurt him. And then the fact that the second title he won, he basically won because the Spurs screwed themselves over. Like, Ray Allen obviously saved the Heat, but if Kawhi Leonard had made his free throws and Duncan had did his thing at the end, that means LeBron would only have 1 title at this point, and that would look really bad. So that's what makes this such an important finals for LeBron. It's all the stuff that's added. The fact that he did lose to the Mavs when they should have beat the Mavs, and that's just the honest truth. They should have beat the Mavs. They should have beat them like 4-1 to keep it real with you. And then, obviously he did his thing against the Thunder, but to be objective, he did it against Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and James Harden that never been to the finals. And then, they went against the Spurs, and they did beat the Spurs. But like I said, Game 6, the Spurs screwed themselves over, which the Spurs have done that in the last couple of years, to be honest. But, I could talk about that another day. But, yeah, so when you really count that stuff in, and then last year's loss, even though he did not have Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, which is a fact, he was able to get them to be 2-1 at one point. So if you do give him an excuse for that, I do understand that. But like I said, I do understand the other side of it too, because he did go 2-1. So the fact that he couldn't win 2 more games, I could see people criticizing him for that as well. But like I said, this is a really important legacy for LeBron, because yeah, man, he's got to get the job done. He's got everything he needs. Hell, Channing Frye is playing his ass off. Like, he's playing really well too. I do think the X factor to this series is Kevin Love. He's got to be aggressive, grow some fucking cojones, and really just take it to the Warriors. Yeah, he's got to be more aggressive. One of my biggest issues with Kevin Love is when his shot is not falling or when he's not getting the ball enough, he just does not play hard. And no, you can't do that in the finals. Kyrie Irving, if he messes up, he is going to always maintain his confidence. So I don't really have a big concern about him. But yeah, Kevin Love and J.R. Smith as well. I know a lot of people consider J.R. Smith the X factor, but I consider Kevin Love the X factor because Kevin Love doesn't need 20 points every game for the Cavs to win this series, but he does need to get rebounds, especially on the offensive side, so they can have second chance points, create second chance points. So yeah, this series is not about to me if the Cavs can win. The Cavs can win, but are they going to be consistent enough 4 times to beat Golden State? I will say this: if the Cavs do win, I do think they should get whatever credit that ESPN does give them or whatever other media outlet. I do think they deserve it if they do win this series because they would be beating a 73-9 team with a guy named Stephen Curry who just won back-to-back MVPs as well. So yeah, but like I said, objectively, I think the Golden State Warriors will win, and I'll be happy for them if they win. But if they don't, and LeBron ends up being the champion on the side, I will be happy for him. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, I have Golden State in 6. I hope this series goes to 7. But yeah, it's time for the Cavs to get the job done. Even though I'm not picking them, it's time for LeBron to find a way, and also Tyronn Lue because he's the head coach. Time for them to figure this out and get the job done. They get this job done, it will shut a lot of people up. Cleveland hasn't won since Jim Brown, and that's football. So that's way before we was even born. So yeah, man, this is a big series. I think it's going to be a great series. So man, let me know what you think, and yeah, man, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see.